Good afternoon. This is Patrick, and you are trading with Prime. Just looking at today's price action a little bit, it did look like a little bit of profit taking slash sell off. Let's zoom into the chart here a little bit. And I've kind of said this through the beginning here. We have a little bit of room here. Honestly, we could come back to this trend line. That is absolutely possible. Once we break the trend line, that's when the selling will really begin to accelerate. But we have a long ways to go. We definitely have support levels in here that we can kind of keep an eye on. Let me clear up the chart here. Zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can kind of have a better picture of what's going on. So we do have support right here around 333. Absolutely, price can come back in. And we do have a trend line running up the middle of this. So that would kind of line up with that trend line going up the middle of the chart. We also have even more of support down here. I would love to be a buyer around 320 again. I don't know if that'll be, if that'll give me the opportunity to or not. If we begin to start closing down here, we can begin to fill in these gaps. And, we have several support areas down here. So I wouldn't say necessarily that I believe that this is a top. I did see a lot of people saying that this is a double top. I wouldn't really agree with that. It technically isn't a double top until we take out the lows, and that's pretty far away if you're looking at the daily chart on the yearly time frame. But just looking at the price action today, we saw a little bit of a rejection. And what I was looking for was, we did a post about this morning. Actually, to be honest, the last several days we've been saying this. Would I want to be a swing trader at these high prices? And the answer has continuously been, I do not want to be a swing trader at these high prices of any of the stocks that are in the broad market. So we have to be really keep an eye on that and be careful with that. But even looking at the ES futures, we have the same kind of trend line coming up here, and all-time high is 339 or 3393.75. We were looking at, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, the high is 3,397.50. So we were kind of looking at that as far as, what was happening yesterday, the day before, and today we finally got the tag of that high. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more on a lower time frame. Let's just go to the hourly chart here. And so today we finally saw that tag of the first initial tag. And the thing is we already saw the tag in the S&P 500. We saw it in the SPX. We were kind of waiting, and of course the NASDAQ is at all-time highs and has been at all-time highs, but we were kind of waiting for the ES futures to hit that tag. I did a post this morning talking about these price levels, not in the futures, but in the actual S&P or in the SPY. I was looking at the price levels, and I was saying, if we got down to yesterday's lows, that could be a pretty bad sign. So to be honest with you, I do see lower prices, although I don't think the market is just going to crash. We have a lot of support here, and we have to give the market the benefit of the doubt. We've already seen time and time again where the market puts in these reversal candles, and then like this one back here on I don't know what this was last Tuesday. We see these reversal candles getting put in, and then the market just recovers. So it's completely possible that we see the same kind of thing. We see the market just recover. Oh, and then just to finish up on that SPY chart here. So yeah, I would consider this reversal candle. And for you day traders out there / swing traders, what kind of gave me the clue was this is a reversal candle. So if you guys are trading the intermediate day trading charts and you see the price closes, even though it is kind of a hammer candle, you did see price close below the low of pretty much all of these candles all the way till yesterday closing price. Because it closed at such a low level, I was expecting lower prices. So you saw the next candle, which was this one right here, opened up and then just sold off almost into the close. To me, that is pretty bearish. I would expect lower prices, maybe down here at the 334 price level, 335, somewhere in there. But again, we have to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt. They could always just turn this thing right back around and continuously make new highs. Let's go to the Qs. And I think we were talking on the last video we put out, we were talking about the put to call ratio. discussing this. There are so many people that are long the market that the market is kind of running out of buyers. It needs to pull back a little bit. It needs to have a breather, and it's perfectly healthy for a market to do that, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. I wouldn't consider today's candle. I wouldn't consider that an actual reversal candle. Yeah, it felt pretty, like it was selling off a lot. But the thing is we've been coiling up here, so it feels like a sell-off, but it's not really that big of a red candle on the screen. Plus, we didn't even close. The Qs didn't even close below yesterday's low. We're above all three moving averages, so that's something to kind of keep an eye on. We're still in an uptrend, and that's definitely something to focus on. Let's go to GLD. We talked about this in the last video we put out as well. What I said was, I believe what we were talking about was in this area here, you see a lot of whipsawing, and then you see a lot of volume here. And what I said was that it felt like distribution. And right now, like, there's no way of knowing that it's distribution. And I know Warren Buffett bought some minor company, or maybe he bought gold, put a lot of money into it. I'm sure maybe there's some other companies, or maybe he actually spent money on GLD or some different forms of gold. The thing is that we don't really know what's going on until weeks after it happens, and we actually start to see the reports. But to me, this feels like they keep rallying the price, and institutions keep selling into the strength, and that's what it kind of feels like. Today we had an extremely bearish day, although just looking at the chart for a minute, it's really not that bad. We are still in an uptrend. Yeah, we kind of closed below one of the moving averages, but it's really not that bad. I do expect lower prices in gold because where we close back. To be honest, there is support right here, and let's say this is 177. Let me give you an actual price on this. 179 area. The thing is we were just at 179 a couple days ago, so I would not expect that this price area would hold, although it is possible. Maybe a pullback down to 171, 172, maybe even 174. Maybe that would be more probable. It is possible to bounce off this support. I don't personally think that it will. Let's look at silver. So that's another one we looked at with silver. And so, to me, what we were talking about a couple days ago, we said that, silver was going to probably go up here and fill this gap. And let's see if it actually did. The opening price is 26.59, which was where we said resistance would be. Let's see here, 26.59. And then we retraced back up yesterday. We retraced back up there. The high is 26.49. That's close enough. There was going to be resistance there. Some of the traders took profit early on the gap fill. And so you saw already today's price action, you saw profit taking, and then we closed pretty bearish. So to me, again, we could find support around this area, maybe around $22.10 or 15 cents. But the thing is we were just there a few days ago, or earlier this week, end of last week. I would not expect that to hold. It's more probable, in my opinion, that we come down, maybe even just get below $20 to kind of psych everybody out before we actually start finding that support. Keep in mind, there's a lot of gaps down here that could be filled. If price got down there, it's going to want to fill the gaps. So maybe keep an eye on that. Let's look at TLT. TLT, I think last video we discussed TLT being in this range. And I was kind of thinking, we could be buyers off support or sellers off resistance. I was positioned long in TLT. We had this was a pretty bearish day today. So if we find ourselves getting down to these lows tomorrow, it might even be a gap down tomorrow. It's possible that this 160 or this 161 price area holds, or 161.75. It's possible, but honestly, I think that we come back even further than that. We might even come fill some of these gaps down here. There's a lot of support down here in these levels, 156 all the way up to like, let's say 160 area. There's a lot of support here, so let's see what happens. Also, the concern that I had with TLT was, in the bond market in general, is, are we going to have one of these scenarios where we saw this last time and then price consolidated, pulled back a little bit, consolidated? Are we going to see, at whatever magnitude, are we going to see the same kind of symmetrical pattern play out where it kind of snaps on us? We'll see what that looks like. Let's go look at IWM. We were kind of waiting for the IWM and financials and the transports to kind of give us a sign. Just looking at even IWM here, to me, this chart does not look that bad. I know it felt bad today, and I have to keep saying this, like we really have to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt, because to me, it looks like we have price gaps up, we have consolidation, price gaps up again, we have consolidation. It's, you know, this chart would it's bullish for one, but it can stay bullish even if we come back here between the, let's call it, if we can stay above 152 to 153, if we can stay above that price area, that this chart could still remain bullish. Let's try the XLF. I took a trade today in XLF and some of the banks. I was looking for more of a, and I'll let you know why here in a second. Let me zoom into this. What I was looking at was this, is that if the financials are going to fall apart and melt away, that would affect the entire market. If that affected the entire market, so it's almost like a make it or break it for the financials. If they break down here, you know, it might pull the rest of the market with it. So I was thinking that that would be a good, you know, plus we have this support here. Oh, let me go back here. We do have this support that pops up here, but also now that I'm looking at the chart here, I don't, you know, just looking at the chart here, we do have this candle right here. We could find support right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and go in on this. Is $24.18. We could find ourselves back in this $24 price area and find some support down here, even though at the time it will be down below the moving averages, but we will see what that actually turns into. Let's go to, let's do the transports. So same thing with the transports. And so you kind of see some divergence going across the markets. Again, it's, and this is kind of why I feel like the S&P 500 can continue rallying. We could find support, is because even looking at this, you see what's going on. It's just you had the March lows and then consolidation, a move higher, consolidation, move higher, consolidation. You have that this whole way, and then you see this one last push higher. This is a really tight range here. If the Dow Jones Transportation Average can hold this bull flag kind of a pattern, I'm not saying we will end up here, but if it can hold this, this is bullish. In fact, if I did one of these and I looked at the price here and I said, you know what, we could even pull back here. We could even pull back as low as, well, we got to have a make it or break it point somewhere. Even 10,280 all the way down to be honest with you, it could come down to just underneath 10,000 and still be bullish, other than it would be underneath some of the moving averages, but it would still be above our rising trend line. And that's what we're after. We're looking to stay above this rising trend line on any of the charts. I think that pretty much wraps it up for now. You know, have a safe rest of the week as far as the, you know, trading the you know, whatever you guys are trading right now, just kind of be mindful of trying to swing trade things at higher prices. And at the same time, if you are a swing trader, possibly consider waiting for the pullback to one of these trend lines. Wait for that pullback, and if you don't get the pullback, that's okay. You know, we don't have to take every trade. If we do get a breakout and it does something like this, and we kind of make higher highs, that would be something to consider as far as taking a long swing trade. But for now, I would rather be a buyer at support. Anyway, feel free to tune in this Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to do our normal market analysis, technical analysis, help out new traders. And if you guys have any questions as far as that goes, also there's a link in the description of the video for our Discord if you want to be a member of our Discord group. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave the questions in the comment section. If you've gained value out of this video, feel free to hit the like button, and we will talk to you soon.